Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be talking about perfume again. So when I bought these little quads from Chanel, I also bought one of their new perfumes. The one I got is a Paris-Edimbourg by Chanel Paris. And before I talk about this, I want to just do a little bit of a primer on Chanel perfume line. So we all know the Chance Tender, the Gabrielle, the Chanel No. 5, the Flankers, the Cocos, the Coco Mademoiselles, on and on and on. And those are readily available at many department stores and even Sephora. However, they have two other lines that, to my knowledge, are only available at Chanel boutiques or Chanel.com. The first one came out, I don't even know how long ago, more than 10 years ago, and that's called the Exclusifs, or Les Exclusifs. Those come in parfume, eau de parfum, and one comes in eau de toilette. It is also coming in body cream and a hair and body oil. Some of the scents, I'm not naming all of them, but my favorite is Bois d'Ile. I love that. It's a sandalwood scent with a little bit of aldehydes, which I'm not crazy about. I used to take baths on Sunday night in the winter time. I would spray this on afterward and put on a flannel nightgown, and it was like my joy of Sunday night. Also 1932 Jersey Cuir de Russie, which is leather, Russia leather, Coromandel Gardenia, number 22, 32 Rue Cambon, Del Respiro, etc. These are very interesting, and I have to say I've tried many of them. I don't love many of them, but if you are a perfume person, you might find one or two things in here to really love, and they're just a little bit more interesting, have a little bit more personality than the things that are mass-produced, the things that you find at Sephora, the things that you find at Macy's, Bloomingdale's, Dillard's. There you have it. The prices in this range for the EDP is $200 for 2.5 fluid ounce and $350 for 6.8 fluid ounce. The price for the per parfum, which they have 8, is $240 for 0.5 fluid ounces. And then there's two insanely expensive ones that come in a special coffret, and it's Baccarat Crystal. It's up. One of them is $10,000, and I think the other one was like $12,000, or maybe they're both $10,000. Yes, you can get a used car, or you could get perfume. This is what the Chanel site says: composed of rare and intricate ingredients, each Les Exclusifs de Chanel fragrance embodies the exceptional art of perfuming. Each scent evokes a chapter from the story of Gabrielle Chanel, reflecting the life and character of Mademoiselle, an elegant collection of fragrances that celebrates the timeless style of Chanel. Now this new line is called Les Eaux de Chanel, and I'm not sure how to pronounce this. It's E-A-U-X. I think I did it right. Inspired by destinations beloved by Gabrielle Chanel, Les Eaux de Chanel fragrances offer an instant escape, a sensation of freshness, a journey in every spray. And the 5 fragrances are Paris-Edimbourg, Paris-Riviera, Paris-Deauville, Paris-Venise, and Paris-Grasse. They each come in EDT, body lotion, hair, and shower gel. The EDT comes in 4.3 ounces for $130 and 1.7 for $80, and this is what I have, 1.7 for $80, and I think this is so elegant. I love the way it's rounded. It fits in the hand. I mean, my label's crooked, which with such simple, elegant packaging, get the label straight, because someone like me will go nuts. This is what they're saying on the site about this one. Aromatic, woody fragrance that conjures the wild and majestic landscape of the Scottish Highlands, where Gabrielle Chanel found solace in nature. I've never been to Scotland, but I like the idea of this. The composition, they're saying a powerful burst of juniper berry and cypress evolves into a warm vetiver accord with earthy undertones and smoky accents for a warm and yet surprisingly fresh scent. All right. When I got this, I was kind of surprised. I know a good deal about perfumes, but I certainly am not, a know-it-all. I don't know everything about perfume. Cypress is not a wood I'm super familiar with. Vetiver I'm very familiar with, and to me, I could be wrong, but I don't think this is cypress. The first time I put this on, it smelled to me like patchouli and vetiver. And patchouli is one of my least favorite ingredients. It's dense, it's chewy, it's strong, and it's slightly retro. It's slightly 70s, think of the hippy dippy wearing just patchouli oil, and of course that lasted through the beginning of the 90s. And you can probably still find people who wear patchouli. In fact, a couple of years ago I was on a trail and there was a girl I used to see frequently, and I said, "Oh, you smell amazing, what is that?" She goes, "It's patchouli oil." I'm like, "Oh." On some people it works, on me it does not. They don't say patchouli is in here, but that's what it's evoking to me. It's evoking to me something strong and slightly I don't like, and then the vetiver is underneath it. Now, I've used it almost every day for about a week and a half, and I did that because I had a feeling that this might be one of those fragrances that grows on you. You first put it on, you're like, it's okay, and then over time you just crave it. And it doesn't take that long to develop that craving. I can't say that I actually did. Something that's really interesting about this is I get no sweetness from this. To me, this is 100% unisex. A man would love this as much as a woman. And I don't need to have floral scents or sweet scents. In fact, I don't love sweet scents. When I was in high school, I wore Ralph Lauren polo for men sometimes. I'm not afraid of that, and so we can assume, the reason I'm telling you that is so I can get across the idea that I don't dislike this because it smells like a male fragrance, because it doesn't, even though I think men can wear this. It's just, God, when I'm smelling the cap, it kind of reminds me of just a little bit. I hate to say this, and this is just smelling the cap. Kind of reminded me of Irish Spring. So I sprayed it on before I got dressed, so I'm just going to spray it on this hand. I don't know. I've been thinking I'm going to return this personally, and then last night I sprayed it. I thought, well, maybe not. Maybe I'm getting to that stage where I'm it's an addictive thing. Now, I forgot to mention something in the beginning of this. I initially wanted to review this, and then I went to Credo Beauty last week and bought some stuff that is coming up makeup wise, and I sprayed this. This is Dirty Grass, and the brand is Heretic. And I thought, this I love. This is kind of a lot like this, except it doesn't have that cypress, or in my case, I'm perceiving it more like patchouli in it. But it still has a greenness to it. It doesn't have smokiness to it. So I thought it kind of would do a head-to-head. And actually, I thought I'd kind of spray them on because the past couple of days I've been doing one arm one and one arm the other, and they kind of work well together. So this I'm going to let set up for a little bit. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this. This is what it says on the Credo site. Why we love it. Heretic Dirty Grass Eau de Parfum is a 15 ml bottle of gender-neutral perfume that contains 150 milligrams of full-spectrum hemp-derived CBD oil, which gives the fragrance its deep green, earthy character. It's been caressed with vetiver, which amplifies the notes of fresh-cut grass. The outcome is an intoxicating and vibrant opening, 100%. And an enticingly rich honey dry down. Dirty Grass helps to ground the mind and center the spirit, helping you to find balance, something I would love to find, Hazing the line between art and function. Dirty Grass promises to be the high note of your fragrance collection. Okay, it depends how big your fragrance collection is, but I'm going to say no. Now, it's interesting that they both have vetiver in them, although they're very different from each other, but they're the same kind of function, where both of them, in my mind, 100% unisex. Honey is a very difficult note. So, the scent, the perception of scent is different from individual to individual, even if the slightest amount. Like, we don't really know, when I'm looking at green, are you seeing the same green? But we do know it's called green, so there must be some similarities in what we are seeing with our eyes. With scent, I would say the vast majority of us smell the same things. We know the difference between tuberose and jasmine once we become educated to it, whether it's walking by tuberose and walking by jasmine and recognizing that, and recognizing the smell. However, there is a portion of the population that is unsomic. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. And unsomic people perceive certain notes differently or don't perceive certain notes at all. There are some notes that they just can't smell. And that is not necessarily from individual to individual. If you're an unsomic, you fall into one of a couple of groups. For instance, you probably know people who think, and you might be one of them, that cilantro tastes like soap. It's the same kind of thing. People either taste this, I can't even describe it, I have to bite into some. I love cilantro. I love it. And there are people, and it's a lot of people, who say it tastes like soap. What do you like about this? That has something to do with your receptors, be it your tongue, and of course your taste and your scent is connected in many ways. Same kind of thing with honey. I happen to love honey. The candle brand of Vetivo used to make a beautiful honey candle called Provence honey or Provençal honey. It was perfection. I had that thing burning all the time. I bought the little ones and put them all over the place. They no longer make it, which is heartbreaking. It's so soothing, calming, relaxing, beautiful, lovely. Many people find that honey smells like urine, specifically cat urine, which is interesting. Not as many as people who hate cilantro, but that is a perception that kind of divides people. It's just a few ingredients, a few aerochemicals that people are widely divided on because they're perceiving them differently. Honey is something I love. Many people do not. Personally, I don't get honey in this, but I would be okay if I did. There might be a honeyed nature to it, but it's not sweet. Let me read you the notes. The fragrance notes are the top, pink pepper and lemon. And this is interesting because usually citrus opens most fragrances, but citrus is really hard to keep going throughout the body of a fragrance. And I find they've managed to do something with this where I do smell that lemon for a good while, way past the opening. It's faint, but it's there. So if you like a citrus, but you want something that stays with you for a while, this might be something you want to consider. The mid notes are violet leaf, galbanum, and coriander. I love galbanum. Done poorly, it is screechy, screaming, horrible nightmare of a mess. Done beautifully, it is green, sparkling, angelic, lifting, awakening. It's stunning. The best I've ever smelled was Balmain's Vent Vert Vintage. A friend of mine had brought like a 5 ml of it, a pipette worth of it, and I should have asked for it. She wasn't a good friend. I met her through the Makeup Alley community, and I was just getting into it, and she came, we met, and she let me sniff these samples. beautiful. I was never able to lay my hands on a vintage, and the problem with vintage is it changes. Just like they change formulas all the time now, they change formulas all the time then, so you have to find a specific bottle, and I can't remember what her bottle looked like, and there's always a chance when you're on eBay that somebody bought an empty bottle and put something else in it. The current formulation of this, and the formulation of this over the last 20 years has been crap. It's just awful. But the vintage, probably, you know, I don't know if it's the 70s maybe it came from, stunning. Generally speaking though, galbanum, it has this sharp, bitter green that I enjoy very, very much, and I absolutely get it in this. And I love violet leaf. I know I've spoken about violet leaf in something else that I've reviewed, and it has a beautiful nature to it, slightly woody. It's just, but woody spring. Think of a forest spring where things are blooming. That's what it evokes for me. So yes and yes. And then the base notes are Haitian vetiver. So these two are, to me, very similar. This one is much more expensive than this one when you think about it, because this is larger and this is $5 more. So that's interesting. But this one is 100% natural and organic. I got it at Credo, and there's something really great about it. Where this one, like I said, it's kind of Irish Spring. Together, I really enjoy them as well. So that's it, you guys. I just wanted to do a little bit of a review for you of these two fragrances, what their background is, what they evoke to me, what is in them, what their notes are, and maybe you might decide that you want one of them. I mean, if this is your jam, this is your jam. It doesn't matter that it's not mine. And this might be your jam as well. I still haven't decided if either of them are my jam. So it might be one of those things where it's not love at first sniff. But you know, on the other hand, there's nothing more disappointing than spraying something on and it's love at first sniff, and then after a week it becomes mundane to you and it's no longer interesting. Perfume is so interesting, and it has everything to do with your hormones, where you are in your cycle, if you're still cycling. What the weather is like. Is it humid? Is it dry? Is it hot? Is it cool? Your mood, how much light is affecting us, you know, longer days, shorter days. It all plays into our perceptions of perfume, in my view. And some fragrances I own, I love, but I would never touch them in the summer. And, you know, that's it. Weird outro. Not unusual for me. Anyway, I hope this was helpful to you, and I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what your thoughts are on both of these. And until we meet again, be smart and safe, and I'm wishing you good health.